Hi, I'm Chandra Kydd of Smart Kydd Concepts. Smart Kydd Concepts continues to honor the history of African Americans as Black History Month comes to a close. Today's concept is about the trials of travel and Jim Crow in the South. Enjoy. The Green Book and Traveling the Jim Crow South. In the 1930s, Victor Green, a Black American postal worker, lived in New York City's neighborhood of Harlem. There were places where Green and other Black people were not welcomed. Green decided to compile a list of places that were friendly to Black people who traveled. Green published the Negro Motorist Green Book, which was a 15-page guide that listed hotels, restaurants, clubs, drugstores, beauty salons, and other businesses. Green soon learned how important a guide like this could be during a trip to Virginia with his wife. He saw that traveling by car could be difficult, embarrassing, and dangerous for Black people. At that time, state and local laws, called Jim Crow laws, legalized and enforced racial segregation. In southern states, schools, theaters, and restaurants were segregated. White and Black Americans had separate water fountains, restrooms, building entrances, elevators, waiting rooms in bus and train stations, and even cemeteries. Hotels, restaurants, gas stations, and other businesses could legally refuse to serve Black Americans. Many businesses had signs like whites only or no colored. But defying these laws could be dangerous and lead to violence or even death for Black people. A car ride to explore new places could be a fun adventure for white Americans, but this was not the case for Black Americans or Black tourists from around the world. Not knowing whether they would have a place to eat or sleep, Black people had to plan their trips very carefully. They had to navigate around unfriendly towns and pack extra food in case an accommodating restaurant couldn't be found. They also packed blankets and pillows in case they were forced to sleep by the side of the road, which left them vulnerable. Sundown times made car trips even more difficult and dangerous for Black travelers. Sundown towns were white communities throughout the United States that outlawed the presence of people of color after sundown. Some of those sundown towns had signs, while others rang a bell to tell Black visitors it was time to leave. For Black travelers, even just driving through a sundown town could result in racial violence from the town's residents even during the day. While the South was openly segregated, even though there were no signs stating their segregationist policies, businesses quietly refused service to Black people. All of these stated and unstated barriers made it very difficult for Black people to travel around the United States. Victor Green saw the need to expand his local guide into a national one. In 1937, Green published his second guide. In addition to motels, tourist homes, and eateries, the guide also listed clubs, gas stations, drugstores, barbershops, beauty parlors, doctors, and garages that would welcome Black customers. It included tips on safe driving as well as tourist sites and places of interest. Each year, a new version of the guide was published, and sales eventually reached 15,000 copies a year. By 1963, the Negro Motorist Green Book had grown to 128 pages from its original 15. The guide, known simply as the Green Book, included all 50 states as well as Canada and Mexico, and it listed over 9,500 businesses. One major company helped Green in his effort. Esso, now known as Exxon, sponsored the Green Book and sold it at all its gas stations. Although the guide was commercially successful, Victor Green hoped that one day there would be no need for it. Unfortunately, Green did not live to see that day. He died in 1960, 4 years before the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. That act, signed into law by President Lyndon B. Johnson, ended legal segregation in all public places in the U.S. It banned employment discrimination on the basis of race, color, religion, or national origin. The act promised Black Americans more freedoms, especially when they traveled. They could legally eat in any restaurant and make reservations in any hotel. There was less of a need for the Green Book, so the publication of the guide ceased in 1967. I hope you enjoyed this and all the videos that Smart Kydd Concepts has produced to honor the legacy and the contributions of African American during Black History Month. I hope if you have not had an opportunity to watch the other videos, go back and watch them and all of the Smart Kydd Concepts videos, and make sure you share them. Share the videos, share the ideas, and definitely share the concepts. Once again, thank you guys for supporting this worthy cause to inspire folks to get better in every area of their life. This is Chandra Kydd of Smart Kydd Concepts. See you next time.